Good morning. This is Pamela Bluewater for J&S Biblical Productions, Saturday, July 27th, 2019. The prophet Jeremiah stated in chapter 29, verses 4 through 11, a very inspiring message expressed in several verses, ending with a statement. Verse 11, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Here in our studio today, we have Reverend Richard Mainstory with the Church of God's Eternal Hope to discuss the belief in hope and Faith Softwater. It's good to have you two here. So Reverend Mainstory, what is the main message that you want us to have from the prophet Jeremiah?
Well, based on the writings of the prophet Jeremiah, we believe that hope is something we should carry with us at all times. In verse 11, he speaks of God's plans to give us a future and a hope. I could list many examples.
Okay, could you tell us what hope is first, a basic understanding?
Well, the basic dictionary definition is a strong longing or desire for something, accompanied by the strong belief in the possibility of its occurrence, often despite facts, evidences, or odds against it.
I think our audience would like to hear some of those.
Well, I'll tell you one. I'm a member of the church choir. I majored in music in college, and I have a voice like a parakeet. I know you think highly of me since you made me lead soprano of the choir, but I don't date many people, and I'm going to be 23 next month. I want to find a real good, honest, ethical young man with a decent career, get married, raise children before I get too old, and live in a suburb like Meadowbrook, and I don't have a clue is how to get there. All I have is hope and belief in God. I work full-time at a secondhand bookstore, but all we get is stuffy college professors.
Well, how can you help her, Reverend Mainstory?
Well, I suppose something of a miracle. I spoke to her of God's desire to help those who need him. And I spoke of Jeremiah's writings, of God's plans to give us a future and a hope, as is written in chapter 29.
And then what happened?
Well, a young man came into her bookstore. His name is Peter. Peter's also a member of our church. He's 32 years old. Peter runs a chain of children's clothing stores, and he loves children, although he's not married and he has none of his own. And because of this, he felt something was missing in his life.
I think something is going to happen.
Well, yes, I had the two of them over for dinner, and Peter and Faith, and something clicked. The two of them formed a strong bond on the writings of the prophet Jeremiah, and now they have strong hopes for the prosperity for the future, such as marriage, children, and a lovely home in Meadowbrook. They are getting married next month.
Oh, wow.
And Peter is now enhancing the size of his children's clothing stores and changing the name to Faith, Hope, and Love and Children Incorporated.
Oh.
Yes.
Excuse me?
Yes?
Things like that don't happen in real life. There's always something wrong in the relationship. Maybe he was unfaithful. Maybe he had skeletons in the closet. See?
Not anymore.
Maybe he has unsavory business and political connections. Or even unwed children.
Miss Sedgway, don't be a wet towel.
Yeah, don't be a wet towel. I've heard all that before. I'm the one Reverend Mainstory is talking about. Peter is my dream boat. It's true. And Miss Sedgway, here is your wet towel.
Oh my.
He's perfect for me, and Miss Sedgway, here's your wet towel. And I'll throw in a wet sponge too. Reverend Mainstory told me what the prophet of Jeremiah said. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. You hear that, Miss Sedgway?
Yeah, I heard
And
it.
look, and here is our new home in Meadowbrook.
Oh, that's so lovely. Well, this is quite a tale. So our audience of J&S Biblical Productions, do you believe God and Jeremiah now, or people like Miss Sedgway? This is Pamela Bluewater for J&S Biblical Productions saying good morning.
What are your thoughts on today's story? We'd like to know. So leave a comment and subscribe to our channel, J&S Authentic Biblical Productions. Whether it's the Word of God through parables, true stories illustrating parables, or true stories in the life of Jesus Christ with commentary, you can see them all by subscribing to the most comprehensive collection of videos of biblical stories for you and your family. Have a blessed day.